Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with my review of Honey Boy, which is opening in limited release this weekend and will expand to more theaters over the coming weeks, particularly as we get into award season. Honey Boy has been picking up buzz ever since it debuted on the festival circuit earlier this year, and I'm happy to say that it has been picking up buzz for good reason. Honey Boy is a very unique film. It's directed by Alma Harrell and written by Shia LaBeouf. That Shia LaBeouf, yes, and it is pretty much an autobiographical movie written by Shia LaBeouf about himself and his relationship with his father, who he plays. If it sounds complicated, it's not really, but this is an extremely deep, rich, emotional, unique movie. Honey Boy tells the story of Otis, who is essentially Shia LaBeouf, and we see him in two different periods of his life. He's played by Lucas Hedges as a early 20s actor struggling in a big action franchise who's institutionalized after an arrest and needs to undergo therapy, which includes exposure therapy, essentially reliving his traumatized childhood as a child actor raised by his father, who is named, well, basically his father played by Shia LaBeouf, playing his own father. This is not one of these things that, is kind of a sly wink at the camera or a hint that this could be based on true story. This is throughout the film, behind the scenes, in the making of, very plainly by Shia LaBeouf presented as a portrait of his own childhood. And it is harrowing. It is difficult to watch. It paints a very vivid picture of the pressures that can be faced by particularly child actors who have the burden of earning a living for the family placed on them, as well as the burden of expectations from a parent, not just expectations of you as a child, but the failed expectations of the parent, of the dreams of their own life that didn't come true. How all of these things can be placed on the shoulders of someone so young, and then the ramifications of that later in life. This is not a romanticized movie. A lot of people might say that Shia LaBeouf was out to do a public image rehab or to do something like that. He's not interested in that. He's not interested in presenting himself in a certain way, or honestly, his father in a particularly certain way. The only thing that comes through every pore of this film's being is absolute, raw, and brutal honesty. This is obviously a very therapeutic exercise for Shia LaBeouf. But it's not therapeutic in the sense that it feels self-indulgent or exclusionary, as if he just needed to do this passion project, write this, get it out on the page, and somebody grabbed it and decided to make it. This doesn't seem like any kind of revenge for what was seemingly a very difficult childhood. It honestly seems like almost a confession on behalf of his own father from Shia LaBeouf, a glimpse into his own life, and not in a way that he's offering to excuse whatever his behavior may have been in the past. This is an extraordinarily unique film, and I think a really special film. Alma Harrell, who directed this, does a fantastic job of giving this story more than just the sort of carnival quality of looking behind the scenes at the life of a famous celebrity. These characters are fully formed and fully fleshed out. If you've never heard of Shia LaBeouf, if you don't know anything about his life or his career, the arrest video in the back of the police car, the Do It meme, Transformers, if you didn't know any of that, this would still work as a raw portrait of a father and a son and their struggles to connect to each other, to be able to communicate to each other, to be the people that they both need to be, and particularly the struggle of Otis's father to be the father that he needs to be in the face of looking at his own life and his own disappointments. This could have gone wrong in so many different ways, and I think it went right in pretty much every way that it possibly could have. I am a huge fan of this movie. this is going to be in amongst my favorites at the end of the year. I honestly don't see a reality where 10 other movies could come along that would supplant this if I'm making a top 10 list. I really do think this is a special film, a unique film, and so much credit needs to go to Lucas Hedges is great in this movie, but he's there largely as a framing device, for lack of a better term. His scenes are so well acted. He's a fantastic actor, but this movie really is a two-hander for Shia LaBeouf as Otis's father, and Noah Jupe, who is a young actor who's also in Ford versus Ferrari, another big awards season hopeful that's coming out soon. They are both phenomenal in this film. They should both be in awards consideration. Shia, I think, should be, I would put him as a leading contender, if not the leading contender, in the supporting category for this year. Noah Jupe, I think, though, Shia's part of this would not work if Noah Jupe was not fantastic in this film. He is. They're both incredible. Their scenes are... You understand their relationship, whether it's spoken or unspoken. You know the history of these characters, and you can tell that they established such a rapport. This is a very open and honest look at a very difficult life. And I think given the struggles that happen publicly when you're a celebrity, we all know to some extent or another that Shia LaBeouf has struggled in his life. The most opportunistic thing we ever did here at Screen Junkies was a video when he was doing another public apology or whatever of sorts, where we did an episode and we put him on camera and put him on the internet. That's my least favorite thing that we've ever done. It felt opportunistic to me then. It feels even more opportunistic to me now. And I think it also just goes to show that, you know, you look at somebody publicly, you look at their public face, and you may think you know what's happening with them or why they're doing certain things. And more so, this is not a Hollywood woe is me. This is not a case of an actor saying, look at how hard my life has been. This is a human story, and it is a tale of looking beyond the surface, looking past what you see, and you see these famous moments from Shia LaBeouf's career in passing. You know, you see him on the set of a Transformers-esque stand-in type film. You see references to his car accident, to the drunk, the video of him drunk in the back of the police car. But they're fleeting glimpses because the movie's not interested in that. He's not interested in reenacting his own life. He's interested in examining the parts that no one has seen, the parts that maybe he himself hasn't opened up to and acknowledged, and finding the truth in that. And I think there's a very brave and honest thing to do, both as a person and as an artist. Honey Boy is a really, really compelling, difficult to watch, but rewarding, special film. I think that it is fascinating all the way through, from the first line to the last line, and I recommend it absolutely, unreservedly, and unabashedly. Alma Harrell, Shia LaBeouf, Noah Jupe, Lucas Hedges, the cast of the film, which also includes Clifton Collins and a lot of other fantastic actors, deserve all the credit in the world. They've made something really unique, really special. As I mentioned, it's opening in limited release this weekend. If you are near one of the theaters playing Honey Boy, go get a seat, find a ticket, and then if as you are around the country or around the world, keep this movie on your radar, because even if it doesn't pop up in the awards contention, this is going to be a busy award season. I can already tell. This movie is worth your time, and a really unique and fascinating use of storytelling, of cinema, of biography, the concept of biography, autobiography, everything else. Honey Boy, one of the best movies of the year. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned here on Fandom Entertainment. Tomorrow we have a review of a movie that I mentioned in this review, Ford versus Ferrari, from James Mangold, starring Christian Bale and Matt Damon. Stay tuned for that review. Thank you for watching this review of Honey Boy. We'll see you next time.